Hello and welcome to this next GreenStuffWorld team tutorial. Today we're going to take a quick look at a fast method of making this axe head here appear to be a bluish metallic. And we're going to be using transparent GreenStuffWorld acrylic inks. You can see here what I've done is I have created a highlight using undercoat, which is OSL white. And the first thing we're going to do is take that OSL white, which is the acrylic transparent. We're going to very gently move around the very edge of the blade. You can see I'm edge highlighting right the way around the edge to give us a really sharp edge. Now the essence of painting this non-metallic metal look but with transparent inks is technically you're working in reverse. So the first thing you're doing is actually putting your highlight in there, and we're underpainting the highlight to make sure when we add the ink we've got a really bright highlight area. So work right the way around the edge of the blade, also catch any damage that's in there with the white OSL. And then the next colour we're using, again from the GSW transparent range, this is transparent turquoise acrylic ink. You see what I'm doing here? I haven't got the brush perfectly vertical, slightly sideways, and what I'm doing is I'm stippling this colour into the light areas. Then as the brush unloads, as we start to lose ink from the brush, I'm feathering it out towards the darker areas, and this will allow you to get a very soft diffused finish. And of course this ink is transparent, so as it dries we will see our highlight underneath, and it will punch up the very bright areas and the dark areas will be even darker. You can see as the brush unloads now I'll start to work up into the dark areas. We're just gently tinting, and notice the brush stroke, it's stippling but with the very edge of the brush, so we get a nice soft stroke. Okay, very simply moving on to the next section, we're going to work in the shadow areas, which again have been predefined by our underpainting, and this is a mix, a 50-50 mix of GreenStuffWorld transparent turquoise again, this time mixed with transparent brown, another acrylic ink. And again we're stippling, but you'll notice what I'm doing here, the brush is slightly more vertical, so we're looking at getting more of a pointed application, and the ink's quite wet, but I have dabbed this off on the brush first so we're not overloading the model. And we're very gently darkening those shadow areas. The very essence of non-metallic metal is the light very light and the dark very dark, and the sudden contrast between the two creates a metallic look. Making sure we've got all the shadow areas defined, all the little tiny details. And now the final area we're going to work on is we're going to punch that highlight area where the light's bouncing on the metal, and this is actually raw GreenStuffWorld acrylic ink again, but this is the OSL white which we started with right at the start. Now what I've done with this, I've actually thinned this down about 3:1 with acrylic thinner, and then dab my brush off, and the reason is I want this super soft and I don't want to leave any white chalkiness. So you'll notice now I'm letting it tap onto the model very gently and letting it diffuse. Again, don't rush this, you can come back and give it another coat. And there we have it. I've just put in the gold elements and start of the fur. A very fast, very effective non-metallic metal look with transparent inks. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for stopping by.